Today we are looking at the signs and symbols that keep showing up around you and that you may be either missing, or even if you are aware of them, you may just be not really understanding why you keep seeing certain signs or symbols around you and what they all mean. So that is what we are getting into today. And if you are interested in what the divine is trying to tell you through repeating symbols, then stay tuned for these messages. And as is always the case, we are going to start off with looking at the piles that you get to choose from. This card represents pile number 1. This card represents pile number 2. And this card represents pile number 3. If you already know which pile is calling out to you, then go into the description box and click on the timestamp that you need. But if you are somewhat iffy, or if you are not sure how you should go about picking the right pile for you, then what I would recommend is, first and foremost, try to get as present in this moment as you possibly can. And to do that, you may want to get yourself to a quiet space so that you wouldn't be disturbed, you wouldn't be distracted by any outside commotion. And when you are by yourself, undisturbed, undistracted, close your eyes for a few seconds, take some deep breaths, and really get in touch with your body. Bring your awareness into your physical body. And once you have calmed yourself down, once you feel like you are feeling like you are in your body, then open your eyes and look at the piles again. See what is standing out to you. Maybe you are seeing some sort of color that you cannot stop looking away from. Maybe there is some sort of symbol, something minuscule that you see on the card, and that may be your sign that this is your pile. Maybe you hear something in your mind's eye. Maybe there is a specific number that you feel a resonance with. Maybe you feel a specific nudge in your body. However your intuition speaks to you, please trust that and follow it. But as I also always say, don't forget to use your discernment as you are listening to these general messages. And without further ado, let's jump into it. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 1. My name is Helen and I am so excited to jump into these messages. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, we are going to start off with the card that you chose. I'm going to feel my way through it intuitively, see what sort of key messages or phrases are coming up. And based on that, you should already get some sort of inkling regarding whether this is your pile or not. But this is such an interesting card that you chose. And I feel a very opposing energy coming off of it. Now, the main word that keeps coming up when I look at this card is barrenness. So what I mean by that is that there seems to be a lack of some sort, and most strongly I feel that it is emotional, because if you look at the card, there is all of this flooding. It's both wintertime and desert that seems to be happening on this card. And even though it looks as though this whole area, this whole the main part of the card is flooded, it's underwater, and it doesn't seem to be ice because there are little ripples on the card as well, so it feels like it's water, but it's not soaking into the ground, which is clearly like a desert type area. So it feels like even though there are all of these emotions present, there may be all of these emotional experiences that you are getting, they don't seem to hit the right spot, or there's something about them that is not filling you up in the way that you need to be filled up. So it feels like even though you may be doing all the things, you may be socializing, you may be among the people that you love and that love you, there is something that just doesn't seem to be hitting the spot quite like you need it to, or like you would want it to. And it feels like it's something that you are not necessarily revealing, though. It could even be something that you may not necessarily be aware of yourself, like 100%. And what I mean by that is that you are clearly aware that something is missing. You are clearly aware that you feel a lack of some sort. But I feel like you don't quite know what it is. It seems to be difficult to put your finger on, like, what the thing is that is missing, because I feel like on the outside, it looks like everything is the way that it should be. And you seem to have quite a lot for some reason. That I feel like seemingly you have it all, or seemingly you have all of your life areas worked out. So just to give you a very generic sort of example, based on the societal expectations, I feel like you are in a place where you have a job, you have a family, you have friends, maybe you have certain hobbies, certain interests, maybe you do something to help out the community or keep yourself productive in some other way, or to give back in some sort of other way. Maybe you have a very steady and stable relationship. It feels like you are sort of ticking all of the boxes that you are meant to, but regardless of all of that, there is something deeply personal and deeply like soul nourishing that seems to be missing from that picture. And again, just looking at the doors, it feels like it's something that you are quite private about, something that you are keeping to yourself, or again, that it may even be sort of hidden beneath the surface. So it may be something that is subconscious, is what I am feeling here. But this is just the intuitive part. So don't worry if this is not 100% ringing true for you, because we are going to take a look at these oracle cards as well. And sorry, I'm going to just move those a bit. We're going to take a look at these oracle cards, and these are going to describe what is mainly preoccupying your mind at this time. So what is most strongly on your mind? And as you listen to these messages, it should be a lot easier to recognize yourself. Okay, we have recycle, recover, heart, achievement, life cycles, cauldron, and boundaries. Oh, this is okay. It's just so funny. I don't know why, but looking at that white picket fence over here is bringing me back to this card as well. This seems to be a tie of some sort, but anyway. So pile number one, let's start off with these two cards. We have this recycle, recover, and heart. And both of these cards are making me feel like at this time you seem to be focused on recreating some sort of good, warm, fuzzy feeling. With the heart card, it's clear that your emotional well-being is very much at the forefront of your mind right now. Or it may just be that you are trying to recreate the good feelings. And especially there's something about bringing back something nostalgic, or bringing back something from the past, something that used to make you feel good, something that used to make you feel safe, something that reinvigorates or brings back the sensations of feeling good, feeling happy from your childhood, or maybe simply from some time in the past. So you could be finding yourself reminiscing quite a lot, or again, thinking back on the good old days of something that used to be a part of your life, but that isn't anymore. Or maybe simply, it could even be that you were thinking back on some of the opportunities that you had, but that you maybe didn't take, and that you chose to abandon for the sake of something else, for some other option. So it could be that you were even thinking back on certain crossroads that you were at when you were younger, and maybe you are imagining what your life would be like if you had taken a different path or made a different choice. So even though I do feel that mostly it feels nice, it feels warm and fuzzy and cozy and very like home-like or safe, there is some sort of melancholy aspect here too that is coming through somewhat. And I'm kind of jumping around here because I also feel that with the Cauldron card, it's giving me the vibe of processing. It seems like you are trying to go through something, trying to sift through all of the, there's this like mixture or this mess of feelings that you seem to be experiencing, and it may be difficult to grasp the true meaning behind it. But I also feel, especially because we have this achievement and life cycles card that is coming out too, that on the surface, again, you could be keeping very busy. You could be doing very productive things. You could be creating something. That is also a strong keyword with this Cauldron card. You could be in the process of bringing something to life. Maybe some of you are even pregnant. That's definitely more of a specific message, but some of you could be either trying to get pregnant or you could be pregnant already. But it definitely feels like you are sort of progressing in some sense, because with this achievement and life cycles card, it doesn't feel like you are actually standing still. It feels like you are doing things, you are taking action, you are expressing your will in the world. Again, you seem to be showing up in the roles that you have in this life, again, as a friend, as a son or a daughter, as a sibling, as a spouse or a partner. Everything, like as a co-worker, it feels like all of these roles that you have, you are filling, or I should say fulfilling, admirably. But I also feel, again, with this boundaries card, that there is a very clear wall between what is happening on the outside, what you are portraying to the outside world, and what is actually going on within, what you are thinking of, the things that you are processing, all of these emotions that are cropping up. There's a clear distinction between the two worlds. And maybe there is something about your energy as well that is somewhat off limits to people. Maybe it's not something that you are even doing consciously, but there's something about your emotional availability where you may be trying to, again, I feel like you are trying to do everything right. You are trying to fulfill all of the roles and everything that is expected of you, all of the commitments that you have. But yeah, it feels more like a subconscious thing, especially because it's next to this Cauldron card. It could be that on some unconscious level, energetically, you are somewhat distant or not as available right now, because it seems like you are in this process of trying to figure out what it is that is missing and what you can do about it. So yeah, anyway, pile number 1, that is what is coming through from these oracle cards. I do hope that something spoke to you, or it at least made it easier to recognize whether this was your pile or not. If you did recognize yourself, then definitely keep on watching, because now we get to the most exciting part of this reading, which is all about the signs or symbols that are around you that Spirit tries to communicate through, that are most likely repeating. So let's see what is the first sign or symbol that is repeatedly showing up in your life that Spirit is trying to communicate through. Whoa. Okay, so we already got 2 signs or symbols, so let's get the third one out as well. Okay, that was quick. Okay, pile number 1. So even though we got all of the signs or symbols out already, I'm going to be going through them one by one, and I'm going to be opening up each symbol or sign with some tarot cards as well to get the message behind the symbol out more specifically. But the first sign or symbol that is coming out is this Lantern card. And what this is making me feel is that Spirit could be trying to talk to you through signs about light. It very well could be that you are seeing some sort of symbols of lanterns or light bulbs or lamps or something like that, just sources of light that could be popping up around you. Maybe you are starting to see more of those on logos. I'm also getting more of a specific message, but I do feel that for some of you there is something about flickering lights. So it could be that around you lamps or electricity could be doing weird stuff, and yeah, you could be noticing that lamps or lights are flickering around you. Even though this is a lantern, I also feel like candles could be, like the candlelight could be something as well. So again, you may be seeing images of candlelight. And I know that candles, especially if you are in the Northern Hemisphere and around this time of year, so when you are watching this as it is currently like late autumn and we're moving towards winter time, so it's kind of common and there are lots of candles about. People, myself included, tend to light a lot more candles when it gets darker and when it gets closer to winter time. But it's not that sort of sign or symbol that I mean. It feels much more like candles that shouldn't be there, or in like obscure places, or that you just don't usually see, or again maybe more in like drawn format. So maybe they are printed on a pamphlet of some sort. Maybe there is, you know, something that you see on a book cover or something like that. It feels like there are just these symbols of candles or lamps or lanterns. So let's see, what is Spirit trying to say through that sign or symbol? Oh, I also just want to say that this card reminds me of the Hermit card very often. So it could also be, if you are at all tied to tarot cards, or you use tarot cards or something like that, or you are interested in, because obviously you're watching this reading, so most likely you are interested in tarot, you may be starting to see a lot of the Hermit card, or the Hermit card may be something that is following you around as well. But again, just wanted to put that out there. Okay, interesting. So we have the World card that is at the bottom, but I'm gonna keep it at the side for now. So we have the King of Swords and the Four of Cups that is coming out with the Lantern card here. By the way, I'm also going to point out the zodiac signs that are coming out. With the King of Swords, we have Aquarius, and also, interestingly, the World card that is at the bottom of the deck here is also tied to Aquarius and Capricorn, and the Four of Cups is a card of Cancer. Okay, so it's kind of I feel like kind of an obvious one, so I'm not sure how interesting or enlightening this message is going to be, but we have the King of Swords and the Four of Cups, and with this symbol of light or lanterns, candles, all of that, that could be repeating or recurring around you, Spirit seems to indicate that it's important to take the time to reflect on your emotions, to take the time to figure out what is actually going on emotionally speaking. Because with the Four of Cups, it's a very clear confirmation that there is something that you feel is lacking, something that you are not happy with, something that isn't fulfilling. But there also seems to be a solution of some kind that is actually right there in front of you, but maybe you are just having a hard time seeing it or actually grasping it. So with the King of Swords, it's all about awareness. It's all about really focusing on the emotion that you seem to be missing, or trying to come to terms with it, because With the world coming out as well as the underlying energy here, there is something that is trying to come to an end, or something that you have potentially already done, something that you cannot really get anything else out of. So it feels like some sort of bigger life cycle or some sort of bigger change is trying to come about, but I feel this like resistance or this hesitation to step through that portal and actually make that change happen, or step into a new cycle of some sort. So yeah, it feels like illumination and clarity, and then like possibly taking action as well is something that Spirit is trying to emphasize here with all of these signs and symbols of lanterns or candles or lamps or light bulbs. Yeah, light bulbs is something that is also coming through here. So as I said, quite sort of clear and self-explanatory. So I am moving on to the next sign and symbol, which is the 4-leaf clover. Now with this one, like obviously you could be seeing shamrocks as well, or 4-leaf clovers, or however you want to call them. You could be seeing those again as a literal symbol. Maybe they have specific meaning to you, but more broadly speaking, I feel like symbols of luck and fortune, or just chance and sort of happenstance, are things that seem to be recurring around you or showing up in, like, again, unexpected places, I feel. So it may also be that you are seeing symbols like dice. Maybe you are seeing certain like gambling symbols as well. Especially I'm seeing a roulette table. I like this spinning wheel. Again, if we come back to tarot analogy, then the Wheel of Fortune could be a card that keeps sort of trailing you as well, or it could be showing up for you quite a lot. So symbols of luck or fate or chance, those could be things that you notice around you as well, or that keep repeating around you. Again, some of you are clearly aware of it, and some of you are maybe haven't really noticed them yet. But that is one of the signs or symbols that Spirit is trying to talk to you through. So let's see what is the message that Spirit is trying to say through that. I saw this one as well. Okay, so we have the Knight of Wands and the Devil coming out in reverse, with the King of Cups in reverse as well. So sign-wise, we have more Capricorn, we have Scorpio, and we have Sagittarius. So I want to start off with the underlying energy with the King of Cups that is coming out in reverse, because this is saying that there seems to be a deep underlying lack of trust for life, or there is a lack of trust in things working out without your control. So I do feel that the message that Spirit is trying to communicate to you through these signs or symbols is one of taking more chances. Sorry, I need to cover this up again. It's apparently offensive to YouTube, I think. But anyway, so we have this message of being willing to explore and allow newness to surprise you, allow things to be something other than what you expected them to be. With the Devil in reverse, it's a very clear message of needing to ease up on the need to control everything, to be the one who like holds on very tightly to how you think that things should be. Because yeah, it feels like there is a sense of adventure or a sense of exploration that is somewhat missing. I feel like Spirit is trying to urge you to take some more chances, or to, and I don't mean like overly risky or those sort of chances, but just being more spontaneous in things that maybe you have had in a very sort of regulated or heavily controlled manner for a long time. And yeah, just sort of allowing life to surprise you. Maybe, I'm just giving you really basic examples here. Maybe just trying a different restaurant than the one that you always go to, or maybe checking out a venue or a concert or an event that normally you wouldn't go to. I feel like especially if someone invites you, like if a friend invites you to go somewhere with them, and normally you would say no because it's not really your sort of event, or it's not something that you know very well, or yeah, something like that. If it's the sort of music that you don't normally listen to, it could be that there is something surprising and some sort of unexpected, cool experience that you get from it. And I feel like you never know where things could lead, or the people that you could meet, or the ways in which your mind could expand and open you up to new opportunities. So again, yeah, just sort of allowing life to surprise you and open your mind to things that you maybe weren't aware of before. So again, somewhat of a logical message coming through, I feel, but at the same time, clearly a very important one. And I just wanted to make that very clear as well. If you see signs of gambling, it doesn't mean that you should go gambling. Like I hope that was a clear part of the message. But just to, like, these symbols or signs could be something that you see. So yeah, anyway, just wanted to go over that as well. But last but not least, we have this snow globe card. And for some reason, I feel like one of the signs or symbols that you could also be seeing is, again, obviously it could be a snow globe, but I do feel like it's these little knickknacks. I also just heard key rings, so maybe you are seeing weird symbols of key rings, or maybe you're just starting to notice that there are images of key rings that are appearing around you. You could also be starting to notice these little figurines showing up around you, again, especially if they are showing up on your like social media feed randomly, or if you see them on like some sort of a printed media. If you see those on weird places, like someone has something attached to their car, or yeah, something like that. I just feel like little figurines could be the sign or symbol that keeps repeating for you. Also maybe snowflakes, or the signs of snowflakes. Anyway, let's see what these signs or symbols are trying to say to you. Whoa. Okay, so we have a lot of cards coming out over here. We have the 10 of Swords that turned itself upright, or in a reverse position, so it turned itself over. We also have the 10 of Cups, we have the Tower in reverse, the Death card in reverse, and we have the Moon as the underlying energy. A lot of major arcana coming through here, so it feels like kind of a heavy-hitting message. We have Scorpio, more Scorpio, and Aries coming through with the Tower. We have Pisces, more Pisces with the 10 of Cups, and Gemini with the 10 of Swords. So I want to start off with the underlying energy. We have this Moon card here, and this is talking about some sort of illusion. And so I feel like this whole symbol or the signs or symbols are talking about something being not quite as they seem, or that there is something going on beneath the surface. And I do feel like it's talking about you and your sort of emotional life and everything that is going on, because again, it seems to correlate with the message of things seemingly being all perfect or like they should be on the outside, but then something being sort of missing on the inside. And the interesting thing is, especially with the snow globe as well, or even like all of the figurines and things like that were coming through, all of these knickknacks, it's like they all seem to, like, they all look nice on the outside and they are nice to look at, but there is also something, especially with the snow globe, it feels like there is an energy of something being trapped or something being stifled and sort of boxed in, almost like frozen in time, or like there is a literal sort of glass ceiling, right? It's this like time capsule thing. So it almost feels like this symbol of everything staying the same, or holding on to something, wanting something to stay the same. And even with the figurines and all of that was coming through, I feel this message of, again, being nice to look at on the outside, but being hollow on the inside, or something kind of being on display. And I do feel that as well somewhat with both of these number 10 cards coming out, especially with the 10 of Cups. But because it's actually, this 10 of Cups is kind of enveloped between all of these quite like heavy hitting cards, but especially next to this 10 of Swords in reverse, Spirit may be trying to get the message across that it's important to think about and maybe ask yourself some of these questions regarding how happy you actually are with the state of things. Because, I mean, even if everyone else seems to think that everything is perfect and that you should be really happy with everything, but if that's not how you actually feel on the inside, is it worth it? I feel like that's the sort of question that Spirit is emphasizing here, that they want you to ask yourself. So again, there's this contrast between sort of, things being almost like frozen or held onto. There is something about trying to maintain something or trying to keep it the way that it is, even though something about you in the process is suffering because of it, or it's damaging you in some sense. And again, we have both of these really significant cards. Both the Tower and Death card are talking about change and talking about significant change. But as they are both coming out in reverse, it almost feels like that change is being resisted, or it's like there is this block or obstacle for things moving forward, or changing in a profound way. I feel like ultimately it's about asking yourself whether that is the sort of sacrifice that you want to make. So the camera kind of just shut off there, but basically, I don't know who needed to hear that message, but yeah, the question of, is it a sacrifice that you are willing to make? Like that was coming through. So I feel like that's a question for someone out there, especially because I feel like with the 10 of Cups, it could be that keeping something the same or maintaining something is maybe in the interest of someone else, so someone close to you, maybe even a family member, because again, the 10 of Cups can very often talk about family. So yeah, so it could be tied to like familial expectations or something like that. But yeah, like, is it worth it? That's the question that I feel is coming up over here. But yeah, those were the messages, pile number 1. I hope that they were interesting and somewhat like illuminating, or at the very least like clearing something up to listen to. But we are also going to close the reading out with some oracle cards from Spirit, so something to kind of wrap the messages up with. So let's see what sort of support Spirit wants to give you. Okay, so you are getting 3. Okay, I'm going to read the underlying energy first. It's probably really difficult to see because these cards are so bright, and on some of them the text is super tiny. But this one says the pendulum swing manifests in everything. And there is a very faint yin and yang symbol. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. Let me see if I can turn it down. Anyway, so yeah, that's what it says. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. So I feel like it's talking about the cause and effect aspect of life, and how when something changes, it has this, again, this sort of ripple effect that also affects other things. But okay, the card that you got is, may today be the day that you can fully embrace yourself and allow others to experience the beauty of your uniqueness. So it's clear that the message of authenticity and allowing yourself to show up the way that you truly are, there is something very very strong about it, I feel. And I also love that the text looks like an old television screen. That's what it reminds me of, at least. But anyway, we also have what's the best that could happen, and that just keeps sort of repeating on this card. What's the best that could happen? So that's a question that you may also want to ask yourself. What's the best that could happen? So instead of focusing on the things that evoke more fear or hesitation, and thinking about like the worst case scenario or something like that, everything that could go wrong, I feel like Spirit is asking you to think about what could go right. What is the best that could actually happen? You have been gifted the ability to rediscover yourself 1,000 times over. Take a breath and let go of the expectations and limitations which disillusion you. Wow, so this feels like quite a heavy hitter, but it especially feels tied to the moon card energy. So yeah, expectations and limitations. I feel like those are really important keywords here too, because we have been talking about those quite a lot. And those seem to have a very big impact on everything here that we have been talking about. So anyway, I hope that these messages, pile number 1, were useful to you, or that this reading was at the very least interesting or fun to watch. And if that's the case, if you're still here, by the way, leave me a tree emoji down in the comment section, because there are all of these trees that are showing up on these cards. So yeah, leave me a little tree emoji so that I would know that you made it all the way to this point, that you got something from this reading. And yeah, I just love seeing you in the comments, and seeing how these messages actually resonate for you. So I hope to see you there, and I also hope to see you back on this channel next Friday for some more messages, insight, and fun. But in the meantime, please take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 2. My name is Helen, and I am very, very excited to get into these messages with you. So yeah, let's get straight to the card that you chose. I'm going to feel my way through it intuitively and see what is coming up. And based on those sort of keywords or phrases, messages, you should get some sort of inkling whether this is possibly talking about you. So you should recognize something. But I'm looking at this card, and it's a very specific sort of image. So it does seem like you could be working through some emotional wounds at this time. It feels like there has been quite a long time where you have maybe kept more to yourself, where you have distanced your heart or your deep emotional vulnerability from people. And very literally, this could talk about a romantic sort of context. So maybe you have been out of the dating scene for a long time, or maybe you simply haven't had any interest in putting yourself out there in that regard for a while because of the pain that you have experienced in the past. But even if it's not specifically tied to a romantic context, it can simply talk about opening up to others in general, in whatever capacity that means. But I do feel that people, again, regardless of the specific context, whether platonically or familially or romantically, I feel like people have disappointed you, people have let you down, and maybe even taken advantage of you, of your kindness, of your love, of your warmth, of your affection. And that seems to be something that has left quite a huge dent in you and a lot of scars. But I'm kind of drawn to how this woman is naked, first of all, which again seems to talk about this aspect of vulnerability and opening up in a truly fragile sort of way. But I'm also looking at how the bird is clearly crying and how the woman is has first of all set that bird free from the cage in her heart, and how she is kissing that bird. So there is this level of affection and care. And so that's really what makes me feel like you have started to heal yourself or heal some very deep part of you. Maybe some of you have very literally started therapy or started working through that emotional wound that way. But for others of you, it could just talk about some sort of self-care activities in general. So yeah, maybe you have started to take care of your body more, of your mind more. Maybe you are more aware and more mindful of the things that you are eating, consuming, and again, not just food-wise or drink-wise, but also information-wise. Maybe you have become more conscious of the sort of people that you allow to take up your time, that you allow to have access to your energy. So yeah, there's all of this this caring and nurturing that is coming through, and it seems to be deeply personal. I'm really liking this energy. There is something very soft and gentle about it, also very compassionate. I almost feel like maybe this is more of a specific message, but I feel like some of you are in the process of forgiving yourself, or you have forgiven yourself for something that you maybe used to feel really guilty of, or that you used to beat yourself up over quite a lot in the past. So yeah, this feels just like self-love to me, and starting to heal and open up to other people again. But I feel like it's slowly but surely. So it's still an ongoing process is what I feel. But anyway, this is just the intuitive part. So we are also going to take a look at these oracle cards, which are going to describe what is mainly preoccupying your mind at this moment. So as you listen to these messages, it should be a lot more easy to resonate with this pile or see whether this is talking about you. Okay, we have globe and possibility, perfume, courage, justice, chiromancy, and emotions with the moon. Okay, pile number 2, very interesting energy coming through here. So I'm going to start off with the first card. We have this globe and possibility, and I do feel like, as I said, there is this sense of opening yourself up to the world, to other people, to possibility, quite literally, that was coming through from this card as well. So that seems to be something that you are very much preoccupied with, especially mentally speaking. You seem to be thinking about things and life in a broader sense, and maybe in a much broader sense than you have for a while, because I do feel this very strong contrast between having been quite closed off or more in like a hermit's cave, especially emotionally speaking. I don't feel like that's the case physically necessarily, but I do feel emotionally speaking, and especially when it's talking about your heart and your emotional availability of like actually being willing to share yourself and allow someone else to have very powerful access to you in a way that is disarming. So yeah, with this possibility, it just feels like you are starting to look a bit further and opening your mind up, trying to find the possibilities as well. Now, I also feel, I'm kind of jumping ahead here, that with this Courage and Justice card, on the one hand, I do feel that it's just talking about sort of balancing things up, balancing things out again, especially after a time of maybe being more so on the one extreme of things, or yeah, being in one state for quite a long time. So now it feels like you are ready to emerge out of that place and bring in something different. But on the other hand, especially with the keyword of courage, I do feel that it's talking about this this aspect of you feeling confident enough now to try again and to make something happen, because we have this perfume bottle that is coming out as well. And I do feel like it's talking about a very powerful sensation, because when you think about perfume and the sense of smell and how memories are most powerfully evoked through the sense of smell, there is something about wanting to experience these powerful sensations again, wanting to bring those back to life, or again looking for possibilities to bring some sweetness, something that would deeply move you, something that would evoke some sort of emotions in you. Again, we have this emotions card very literally coming out so clearly. How you are feeling, what things are causing emotions to surface in you, all of that seems to be very much at the forefront of your mind right now. And obviously this is further confirmation that you are dealing with certain emotions that you have experienced, so it could be tied to this healing aspect too. But on the other hand, I feel like you are just wanting to bring back the variety of emotions that you could experience, because I feel like there has been this period of time in your life where things have just been very like neutral, very lackluster. I do feel like it's been a conscious choice on your part to take that time to heal, to take that time to step away and sort of gather yourself and again make amends with what has happened. But I do feel like the other side of it has been that you haven't really felt truly alive either, if I can say it like that. Or there has been some sort of neutrality or even apathy for some of you, where, you know, yes, things have been okay and you haven't had to deal with any serious heartache or deep crippling pain or anything like that, but maybe you haven't had the chance to experience exhilaration and true overflowing joy and excitement or anything like that either. So it just feels like it has been much more sort of, again, neutral, and now you seem to be wanting to bring back that color of life. And we also have the chiromancy card here, which talks about fate and destiny and predestined events. So I do feel like on the one hand, it could talk about the things that happen that you don't have the power to change. So you may be like looking back on the past and all of these experiences that you got as something that happened, something that you have to make peace with. And maybe now you could even be seeing those in a different tone. And again, seeing the valuable lessons in those. But I also feel like there is something about wanting to more actively take life into your own hands, or yeah, more actively like step into life again. That's what's coming through with this card as well. And I also feel this connection between like having the courage to see what life has in store for you, but also maybe starting to see again the possibility that your future could look a lot different from your past, and sort of seeing the opportunity of future or of destiny being actually really exciting, being positive, something that you could truly enjoy. So yeah, it seems to be talking about this lightening of emotions and feeling more light of heart as well, starting to become more optimistic about the future, and yeah, just giving life a chance again is what I feel. So if you recognize yourself in this pile number 2, if this is something that you are currently going through and something that you are thinking about a lot, then this is your pile, and stick around for these messages that we are going to look at next, because now we are going to take a look at the signs or symbols that Spirit is trying to talk to you through. And these are most likely something that keep repeating. You may or may not be aware of those, but we're going to see what those are, and then we're going to open those up with some tarot cards to see what Spirit is trying to say through those. So let's see what those messages are. Okay. That was very quick. Pile number 2. Let's start off with the first sign or symbol. So with this card, it very much feels like Spirit is sending you signs and symbols regarding magic, maybe even fairy tales as well. So very literally, you could be seeing signs of fairies or little magical creatures. And I also feel the importance of the wings for some reason. So you could be seeing signs or symbols of wings as well. And when I say that you could be seeing them around you, what I mean is that they may be showing up in like weird places or places where you wouldn't expect, where you maybe just sort of see them suddenly. So it's not that when you are watching a Disney movie of Peter Pan and then you see Tinkerbell there and then you're like, oh, see, like I see a fairy. It's not that sort of thing. It's seeing those symbols or signs in places that you normally wouldn't expect to see those signs, or when they just keep kind of showing up around you over and over, or you just keep noticing them. I also just felt like a magic wand or something could also be a sign or symbol that you keep seeing. All of these different signs that have to do with magic and wonder, or yeah, maybe even like these imaginative creatures, or again fairy tales, that could even be the case as well. So yeah, I feel like that is definitely one of the signs or symbols that Spirit is communicating with you through. That was such a weird sentence just now, but I'm sure you got what I was trying to say. So I'm just going to give you an example so that it would maybe be more easy to understand what I mean. And that's just something that I was seeing in my mind's eye when I was looking at the wings. So it's just a silly example, but let's say that you are at the mall, you are just walking around, and then someone passes you by, just another regular human being, but they are wearing a costume of wings, let's say. So yeah, you know, you wouldn't expect it to be there, or that sort of thing to show up, but that may be something again that is sort of Spirit reminding you, or where Spirit is sending you the same sign or symbol repeatedly. But anyway, let's see what Spirit is actually trying to say through that sign or symbol. Okay, we got exactly 2. So we have the 4 of coins in reverse and the Empress, with the Page of Coins or the Page of Pentacles as the underlying energy. So most strongly we have, I'm going to point out the zodiac signs as well. So if you resonate with them, it could be further confirmation that this is your pile. We have Venusian energy with the Empress, so both Libra and Taurus could be significant. But we also have Capricorn and just earth sign energy. So Capricorn and Taurus could both be important signs, Virgo as well. I feel like with the Page of Pentacles being the underlying energy, Spirit's main focal point for you with that sign or symbol is that you still have quite a lot to discover and learn about life. And I feel like it's going to be through giving things a chance, giving things an opportunity, especially because we have the Empress and the Four of Coins in reverse. So I feel like with the Empress, Spirit is emphasizing how much you actually have to give and how much abundance and love and creativity you could experience if you were to open up to all of the beauty and the mystical and the magical that life has to offer. So yeah, I love that we're getting this Empress energy because it so beautifully coincides with the openness and the magnetism that was coming through from these cards as well. So it feels like, yeah, like Spirit is trying to emphasize the message of opening up and sharing what it is that you have, because I feel like you have so much. And with the Four of Coins coming out in reverse, it feels like that beauty and all of this warmth and kindness and everything that you have to offer just by being who you are is something that you have kept to yourself for so long, I feel. And again, it's clear that you needed that time. It's clear that that was a necessary part of the journey. But now with this Empress, it feels like it's time to expand upon that. And again, allow this beauty and this magic to come into your life. Now, we also have the crown that is coming through as another sign or symbol that Spirit is trying to talk through. And again, very literally, you could be seeing symbols of crowns, but I also feel jewelry. Yeah, pieces of jewelry or just luxury, abundance, signs of, just signs of wealth. And, you know, it's I feel like it's coming through in, again, like you could be seeing those sorts of signs or symbols on, I don't know, like magazines or in magazines, on the covers of books. You could be seeing them on certain logos or maybe some ads as well. You could be seeing repeating ads that feature those sort of symbols. So yeah, that is the sort of sign or symbol that I feel that Spirit is also using to give you a message. But let's see what is behind that sign or symbol. What is Spirit actually trying to say? Whoa, okay. So we have the Four of Cups, the Star, and the Ten of Wands that is at the bottom of the deck. Sign-wise, we have Cancer with the Four of Cups, Aquarius with the Star, and Sagittarius with the Ten of Wands. So I kind of get the feeling that with the Star and the Four of Cups here, Spirit is saying that you are going to be rewarded, and there is something that's going to be coming in that could be really fulfilling for you, especially emotionally speaking. Now, the interesting thing is that I just noticed that the Empress has also got a very lavish crown on her head. So definitely the symbol of a crown is significant for you, I feel. Is this card going to focus? There we go. So yeah, the symbol of crown and potentially also like just being an authority, but that feels more vague and sort of difficult to define. So just let's stick with crown. But yeah, coming back to the message, I do feel like Spirit is going to reward you for everything that you have endured and everything that you have gone through, because we also have this Ten of Wands at the bottom of the deck. And first off, it feels like it's simply confirming that you haven't had the easiest journey, and it has been quite a burden to go through, quite a lot to experience. But the Ten of Wands also symbolizes being very, very close to the finish line. Like, that guy is almost at the village where he is headed. So you are very, very close to getting some sort of reprieve, some sort of wish fulfillment that I feel is coming your way. And I feel like it's really, really close to you as well, because with the Four of Cups, it almost feels like there's some sort of offer that you are maybe not even seeing. But I do feel like it's very close. And again, the Star card talks about wish fulfillment, something that you have been wanting, something that you have been asking for. It seems like it could simply be directing you or giving you signs that something that you want, something that you have been waiting for, is coming around. But yeah, let's also look at the last message. So we have this unicorn card, and so very clearly unicorns could be something that you are seeing. Again, they could be showing up in all of these weird random places, but I also feel like just horses as a sign or symbol, those could be something that crop up around you as well. Again, you could be seeing those on some logos, or maybe people have stickers on their cars, or maybe you just keep seeing horses around you. I don't know where you live exactly, but you know, maybe you are seeing a lot of horses or something like that. But yeah, horses and unicorns, I feel are some signs or symbols as well. So let's see what Spirit is trying to say through that sign or symbol. Wow. Okay. Interesting that you are actually getting a card with a horse on it as well. So we have the Knight of Pentacles that is coming out in reverse. We also have the Moon, and we have the Three of Cups that is at the bottom of the deck. So sign-wise, we have more Cancerian energy. We also have more Pisces, and we have Virgo. So I'm going to start off with the underlying energy with the Three of Cups here. I feel like Spirit is saying that it's important to follow the things that make you feel good and follow the joy, because with Three of Cups, it's a very lighthearted, it's a very positive and fulfilling sort of energy. So anything and everything that lights you up, that brings you this deep emotional fulfillment, especially if it's other people, if it's your friends or your loved ones who truly have this uplifting and supportive and loving energy towards you, I feel like that is something to pay extra close attention to and spend as much time in as possible to really envelop yourself in that sort of energy. Because I feel like it's also something that is going to help you to move into some new uncharted territory. We have this Knight of Pentacles that is coming out in reverse with the Moon. And considering also the sign or symbol, I do feel like Spirit is trying to get you to take action, to really plunge into life again. Because the Knight of Pentacles, especially if it's coming out in reverse, it can talk about feeling a bit apprehensive, a bit too hesitant. There is a lot of this slow moving or maybe even standing still sort of energy with the Knight of Pentacles. And I feel like with this card coming out in reverse, it's just saying that it's kind of enough of that. Like it's time to take some steps into new experiences, things that you don't foresee, things that you don't know how they are going to turn out, because the Moon is all about fantasy as well, but just unexpected things and figuring things out as you go. And so yeah, it feels like Spirit is trying to urge you to take action, to move, to experience and experiment with life and get certain experiences. So yeah, it's interesting. how there's a lot of this encouragement that seems to be coming through from these signs. Hopefully you saw that as well. But we are going to close the reading out with some last oracle card messages. These are going to be support from spirit, just to wrap this reading up and to give you something to take away with you from this reading. So let's see what spirit wants you to know. Oh, wow. Okay. So we have, yet again, we are getting three cards altogether. But I'm going to start off with the underlying energy first. Wow, okay. This says taking care of yourself is also productive. I mean, this is the absolute best message to end this reading with, because it's just such a huge confirmation that that is what you were doing. This whole energy of taking care of yourself, nourishing yourself, all of that was coming through from the intuitive part. It feels like spirit is just re-emphasizing the importance of self-care and is again encouraging you to keep going with that. Okay, the first card that you got is see things as they are, not as you are. So this is just a reminder to zoom out a bit, because obviously we see things from a very personal perspective. It's just how we are. And I feel like it's just a friendly reminder to, again, zoom out so that you wouldn't only see things from your own personal lens, but allowing things to, again, surprise you, to turn out differently than what you expect from them. So yeah, it's all about trying not to project yourself and your own personal past experiences to things that you haven't had an experience with yet. Yeah. We also have take yourself less seriously. Wow. So beautiful message. Again, bringing me back to this lightheartedness, optimism, and again, just giving life a chance and allowing life to be something unexpected. So take yourself less seriously. And last but not least, we have you are a priority. Wow, again, feels like another message regarding self-care and the importance of looking after yourself, of nurturing yourself, of giving what you need, because you are a priority. So yeah, wow, I really love this reading, pile number 2. That is pretty much it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. By the way, if you are still here and if you enjoyed these messages, if they gave you something, then leave me a globe emoji down in the comment section so that I would know that you made it all the way to this point, that you listened to all of these messages, that you got something from them, or they were just fun for you to listen to. I always love seeing you in the comment section and seeing when you connect with the readings. It just lights me up so much. So I really hope to see you there. But I also hope to see you back on this channel next Friday for some more messages, insights, and fun. And in the meantime, please take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 3. My name is Helen and I am so thrilled that you are here spending your time with me. And I am so excited to jump into these messages with you. So let's get straight to the card that you chose. We're going to start off with that and see what is intuitively coming through. So as you listen to these keywords, phrases, messages, you should resonate with some of them, or they should at least ring somewhat true. Now, before we actually get to the card, I do want to say that your pile, and this card specifically, was the most talkative. Even before I was done with preparing the oracle card portion for each pile, this card, it just felt so loud and yeah, like it had so much to say. And yeah, so let's get into it. So I do feel that there is a very strong message of things being somewhat inside out for you at this time, or it feels like they are up on their head. Like it's so interesting to me, this whole scene that is happening on the card. Like this boy should be on the inside and the bird should be on the outside. It's actually the reverse. And so it feels like it's almost bringing this feeling of looking in from the outside, or like looking from the outside in. And it feels like you could be feeling that way. And especially because there are these birds that this little boy is trying to reach, which is giving me the feeling that you could be trying to fit in, or you could be wanting to have some sense of belonging, but feeling like the odd one out, or feeling like you cannot seem to fit in or feel accepted or reach some sort of level that you feel that others are in. So it almost feels like you are looking at other people's lives, or looking at others, observing people and their lives around you, and how people are and what they are interested in, what they are doing, how they are relating to each other, what sort of jobs they are having, and all of that, and how they are living their life in a very broad and general way. And it feels like you are trying to reach that. You're trying to do that as well, but it feels like you are wired completely differently. So it almost feels foreign to you, or it's something that you are trying to imitate, but that doesn't actually come naturally. And I feel like that's why things are so out of reach for you, or why you feel like there is this barrier between yourself and the people that you're trying to belong with. Even this whole card and the birds, which I think they are robins, but I may be mistaken. I know how these birds are called in Estonian, but I don't know how they are called in English necessarily. But I do think they're robins. Anyway, even the birds and the whole scene on this card is so muted and lifeless. And this little boy is so full of color. Like there's only splash of color on this whole card. So it feels like, even though you may feel thwarted or rejected, or like things are so difficult and like it's a struggle for you to belong, even though you seem to be doing everything that you possibly can to belong, it's not meant to be that way. Or there is something special about you that is supposed to stand out. There is something unique that you are supposed to do with your life. And I feel like there's a very concrete reason why you feel the odd one out. But yeah, nevertheless, it does seem like there is this dissonance between what you feel and how you relate with life, and how you see things and everything about you, versus how you see everyone else doing things. So yeah, anyway, that is just the intuitive part. As I said, I feel like I was starting to ramble quite a bit, and it does feel like this card has a lot to say, or like this pile has a lot to say, or maybe it's because you have a lot to say, or you want to express yourself so badly, but you can't seem to find the right forum or the right way to do it. So anyway, that is, again, the intuitive part. Don't worry if it didn't make 100% sense to you, because we are also going to take a look at these oracle cards, which are going to describe what is mainly preoccupying your mind right now. So as you listen to these messages, it should be a lot more easy to either resonate with this pile or not. Okay, we have feather and messages, anchor. We have take action and the first quarter moon, lilies, and resilience with succulents also. Pile number 3. I am getting so many confirmations from these cards. So, sometimes just these piles, they work out in a way that the message is so concrete or so specific. So most likely, if you didn't resonate with the intro part or the intuitive part at all, then most likely this isn't your pile. But, just stick around for these messages, because who knows. But yeah, I'm going to start off with the messages card. This feather card that came out first is first off giving me the message that your mind seems to be really busy at this time. And I feel like you are trying to make sense of a lot of these structures and systems and like everything that the world is built on. I feel like you are looking at all of it and you are processing, you are trying to make sense of it, you are trying to make it make sense for you. Now, the interesting thing is that we have this anchor card, and so I do feel this rigidity, almost like the way that you are thinking about things is very set in stone, or like there is something really heavily set about it. And I do feel that it is coming from again, I'm going to jump ahead here, from the sort of the surroundings that you have grown up in. Also your family, most likely, because this Lilies card is talking about different generations as well, and sort of familial traditions, things that have stood the test of time and that have been very well established. So I do feel that there is this element of history or tradition and honoring some lifelong systems that is here, and that has very strongly affected who you are and how you see things. But again, I feel like who you are actually and who you are meant to be in this life, that there is this dissonance between it. And I feel like it's coming from this place of feeling like you need to be this specific version that everyone else is being, or like this pressure to conform is something that I feel very heavily here. And it's not like it's not coming from a bad, or I can't think of a better word, so I'm just going to stick with bad. It's not coming from a bad place. It's just that the way that you were raised and the things that you were raised to believe and everything that you have been conditioned to believe, it's all coming from a place that that everyone else is used to. It's just how they know things to be, and so I just feel like it's, even though it's coming from a genuine place, it just doesn't fit you. The same mold doesn't fit you. And I feel that the main part where this like rejection and feeling disappointed or feeling like you can't quite make sense of things and you can't quite belong is coming from this place of trying to push through, trying to like forcefully take action in a way that isn't actually for you, if that makes sense. It seems like you are, as I said, you seem to be wired differently. There is something unique about you, something that's kind of just stands apart and is supposed to do its own thing. But again, with this resilience, it feels like you are so adamant on pushing through, on holding on trying to make something work. And I feel like that's where most of this struggle is coming from. And I also feel like you could be trying to like motivate yourself or give yourself some pep talks and find this motivation or find this drive to keep going, to keep pushing on. Because with this Lilies card, it also seems like ultimately what you are trying to attain is peace and comfort and harmony. But yeah, I'm just kind of getting the vibe that you may be looking for it in the wrong place. And again, it's not your fault. It's not that you are to blame, or the people who have told you that you should pursue these things are to blame. It's just a matter of getting out of that thinking pattern and questioning whether that path is actually right for you. Even if everyone else is saying that you should go down that path, maybe there is a different way. So anyway, I'm kind of getting sucked in, I'm getting lost in this whole maze of energies. So as I said, hopefully this made sense to you. Hopefully it cleared things up for you. If this sounds like what you are experiencing, if this makes sense to you, then definitely stay tuned, because now we're going to take a look at the signs and symbols that Spirit is trying to communicate with you through. And these are most likely something that keep repeating, something that constantly keep showing up. Whether you are aware of them or not, that's a whole different matter. But yeah, let's see what sort of signs Spirit is using to talk to you through. Whoa. Okay. So now that we have all of the signs or symbols out, we're going to talk about them one by one, but I'm also going to open each one up with some tarot cards and see what is actually the message that Spirit is trying to say through that sign or symbol. So let's start off with the first sign or symbol that Spirit is trying to talk to you through. We have this card of unicorn, and very literally, you could be seeing unicorns or the symbols of unicorns. And I like when I say you could literally be seeing unicorns, I don't mean in like actual real life, but I do mean like, as I said, seeing the sign or the symbol of a unicorn someplace around you that maybe is kind of unexpected. But I also feel not just unicorns, but like mythological creatures for some reason is coming through as well. Yeah, certain creatures or animals from Greek mythology, Roman mythology, Norse mythology, whoever. Like I have to say, honestly, I'm not that familiar with mythological creatures, but yeah, like centaurs or hippogriffs or things like that. Like they could be these like magical or mythological creatures. And when I say that you could be seeing signs of them, again, I want to emphasize that they should be coming through in like these out of the norm, unexpected places. So like, let's say that you are driving along and then someone has a sticker of a unicorn on their car and you happen to see it, or someone is wearing like a unicorn horn, like a little headband with a unicorn horn on it, something like that, when you just walk by them on the street or something like that. It should be kind of out of the norm like that. So yeah, hopefully that cleared it up a bit, but I was just giving you examples as well, by the way. Anyway, let's see, what is Spirit trying to say with that sign or symbol? Whoa, okay. Okay, so we are getting 3 cards. We have the High Priestess in reverse, the Seven of Cups in reverse, and the Knight of Cups. So a whole lot of water sign energy coming through. Oh, sorry, I don't think you could see it. At the bottom of the deck, by the way, we have the King of Wands that is coming out in reverse. Sign-wise, I'm also going to point out the zodiac signs in case you resonate with them. We have Cancer, but also Pisces could be very significant. Because we also have the Knight of Cups here too, which is a card of Pisces. But we also have Scorpio and Leo. Okay, so I feel like this is a very sort of self-explanatory again, or somewhat of an obvious message maybe. But with the King of Wands coming out in reverse at the bottom of the deck, I do feel that there is heavy emphasis on taking authority back from outside authority or from outside opinions. People telling you how they think that you should live your life or what you should do. So basically abiding by someone else's vision for your future, especially if it doesn't feel true to you, which is kind of what's coming through with the High Priestess in reverse here, because whenever the High Priestess comes out in reverse, it is somewhat of an indication that an important part of the intuition is being ignored, or that some important internal compass is not being paid attention to, basically. And so, especially with the Seven of Cups coming out in reverse as well, I feel like there is this haziness or this sense of feeling lost, or sense of feeling like you don't know what's right for you, you can't make the right choice, which seems to stem from this not really being in contact with your intuition. And so with the Knight of Cups coming out upright, it feels like Spirit is trying to encourage you to take back some sort of autonomy or personal power and start tuning in to that intuitive voice, which I feel is really powerful, because we are getting the High Priestess here. So it's clear that your intuition, your gut is actually really, really powerful and giving you clear signals and signs. But it's just important to actually tune into that, because we have all three of these water sign cards. So clearly Spirit is trying to make you put more emphasis on your intuition, on your gut feelings, rather than operating from the mind and again from what someone else has told you. So I feel that, yeah, this accessing your beautiful, magical inner compass and starting to follow that, I feel that is something that is really important, that Spirit is trying to say to you. But moving on, we have the next sign or symbol, which is coming through as the lotus flower. So again, very literally, you could be seeing the sign or symbol of a lotus flower. Again, it could be showing up in some sort of logos or in some paraphernalia, in some ads or designs or anything like that, really. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe this is more of a specific message, but you could even be seeing it in your dreams. For some of you, you could be dreaming of lotus flowers. I don't know who that resonates for, but also not just lotus flowers specifically, but I also feel like flower petals, like that seems to be important as well. And I find it interesting that we got the image of a lotus flower when we also got the card of succulents. So there is definitely a similarity, I'm just going to show you, between these two cards, I feel. So something about like opening up petals to reveal some sort of something deeper within. Anyway, that is the sign or symbol that I feel that Spirit is repeatedly trying to talk to you through, or that keeps showing up around you. So let's say what is behind that message or that symbol. Okay, beautiful. Wow, so we have the Star and the Ten of Swords in reverse with Justice as the underlying energy. Sign-wise, we have Aquarius and Gemini, and we also have Libra. So I do feel, I need to cover the Star up because of the nudity, but you can hopefully see that it's the Star. Sorry, you can't see that. With the Ten of Swords and the Star both coming out here, I do feel that Spirit is saying that it's important to make peace with the seeming failures that you have experienced, or the massive letdowns, the betrayals, the rejections that you have experienced, all of these harsh lessons that you have gone through. With the Star, again, it feels like this whole lotus flower image, or like flower petals as well. There is something about making peace with the past and what has occurred, and starting to like reframe your mind around why those experiences had to happen, or how they have led you to some sort of deeper truth. Because at the bottom of the deck, we have this Justice card. And so clearly the element or the message of truth, of clarity, of seeing something for what it is what is trying to come through. And also I feel like it's again talking about this cause and effect principle, where because you have experienced some of these letdowns, you have also realized what isn't right for you. You have learned something really valuable about it, and it has cleared things up for you. It has made it easier to get through the haze of everything that is available to you. So it's kind of allowing you to get closer to your truth, to get closer to the correct, the right thing for you. So ultimately, with every sort of opening of the lotus flower petal, like again, there's something about petals and petals falling away and getting closer to the real, the true center. So yeah, I feel like there is a lot of clarity and a lot of valuable information that that has come through from your experiences, and I feel like it's just about embracing them and integrating them, learning from them, and moving on accordingly. Now, the last message that we have here is one of the Tibetan singing bowl, but obviously this is quite a specific sort of sign or symbol, even though that may be the case for some of you. Maybe you are seeing those more and more around you. I feel like it's more so talking about simply symbols and signs that have to do with spirituality or religion. So things that invoke the sense of faith and something like higher than ourselves. I feel like that is something that is coming through. Also, potentially some like musical instruments. Maybe you see those as well, but I do feel that it's mainly focused on like symbols or signs that have to do with spirituality. So again, just to give you an example, if spirituality to you is heavily tied to yoga, let's say, maybe you are starting to see like yoga mats or yoga poses or something to do with yoga a lot more. If spirituality to you is meditation, maybe you are starting to see more of these like meditation retreats or meditation gurus or something like that. Like I feel it's more personalized or more specific to what you believe in or what sort of faith or spiritual or religious practice you subscribe to. But yeah, signs and symbols to do with that is something that I feel is what Spirit is trying to talk to you through. But let's also see the message behind that. Wow, okay. Okay, so we have the 10 of Wands, we have the Chariot, and the 10 of Coins with the 6 of Wands at the bottom of the deck coming out in reverse. So we have Sagittarius, Cancer, and Virgo, with Leo as well as the underlying energy. Okay, so I want to start off with the underlying energy yet again. We have this 6 of Wands in reverse, and I feel a very clear message with this, where Spirit is saying that other people's success is not how your success looks like. So I feel like it's very important to differentiate and realize that. And yeah, just sort of, I know it's a lot easier said than done, but starting to let go of the expectations of how success should look like for you, I feel like is something that is a good place to start. But when it comes to all of these spiritual symbols, more specifically, I do feel that the message behind them is that first off, like things shouldn't be that much of a struggle. Things shouldn't be this hard. And I feel like that's what Spirit is trying to get you to see, that there is help available. And I do feel with this Chariot as well, that what would actually allow you to make strides and move forward and progress in a meaningful way, in a way that would actually bring you a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment as well. This true lasting achievement, I want to say, with this 10 of Pentacles is actually connecting to something higher, because the Chariot is very much being driven by a deeper sort of push or motivation. It's something that is heartfelt, something that comes from within, that is connected to something higher. So yeah, I feel like this aspect of finding your own compass, finding your own sense of meaning, and having some sort of practice that connects you to the divine, whatever that word means for you, is something that I feel will help you stop this this struggle and this pushing forward that isn't leading you where you want to go, that is continually bringing you these futile or frustrating experiences, and actually start creating something that would bring you more long-lasting, more substantial, more stable outcomes. And I almost want to say that would take you to creating your own legacy, because I feel like, again, that whatever this thing is that you have been conditioned by. It's not actually yours, and I feel like you are meant to be the trailblazer, or to set a new standard, set a new set of traditions, something like that, is what is coming through here. Anyway, pile number 3. Wow, this was such a powerful reading, at least that's how I feel, and it kind of makes sense because, as I said, this whole group felt really talkative and it had a lot to say. But we're going to close the reading out with some oracle card messages too. These are going to be supportive messages from Spirit regarding this whole reading, so hopefully something meaningful that you can take away from this reading. So let's see. Wow, okay, so let's start off with the underlying energy. The words you speak become the house you live in. Yeah. So again, I mean, obviously this message is very powerful on its own and it kind of says everything that it needs to say. But I do want to add that I feel this huge emphasis on reminding yourself of your own power of manifestation. And again, just how changing your frame of mind is such a powerful move, and it can really alter your whole life and your whole experience of life. So being very conscious of the words, again, the words that you use, the words that you speak in order to create the sort of life that you want to have. So yeah, that's that. But the actual cards that you got are the first one, which says transmute it. Yeah, see, this is exactly the sort of message that brings me back to the lotus flower and all of that. Because I feel like there is so much power in actually, again, reframing your mind regarding the past and everything that has already happened that you cannot change. But you can use that energy to actually propel you forward and use it as fuel, use it as something to ignite yourself, to seek for better, to seek for more authentic, to seek for more fulfilling. Yeah. So we also have, you will never regret self-respect. And I absolutely love this message. This is such a beautiful and powerful way to end this reading with. And I feel like I don't even have to add anything to this. You will never regret self-respect. So beautiful messages from Spirit. I hope that you feel that way too. Pile number 3. I'm going to leave it here. And if you are still here, by the way, if you made it all the way to this point, please leave me an anchor emoji. I feel like it's, yeah, the anchor emoji just kind of stood out to me. So if you leave that in the comment section, I would know that you made it all the way to this point, that you watched this thing and you found something useful from this. I always love seeing you in the comment section and connecting with you there. And yeah, just seeing how you resonate with these messages. It means so much to me, and it's what keeps me going. So I hope to see you there, but I also hope to see you back on this channel next Friday for some more messages, insight and fun. And in the meantime, please take care of yourselves, Pile 3. Bye-bye.